Field of 68 after dark.
Welcome in to a Friday, December 5th edition of Field of 68 After Dark, and it is going to be a doozy because it was a doozy in Nashville tonight for the Kentucky Wildcats, an absolute beatdown by Gonzaga. And I think the lesson, and it's a little bit of a lesson in economics, fellas, inflation continues to be an absolute beast. 20 million just doesn't buy what it used to. I am John Martin tonight, joined by Jeff Goodman, Terrence Oglesby, Tyler Hansbrough. We're going to hear from some folks from Gonzaga in just a little bit. Obviously, a huge win for them after getting beaten down pretty good by Michigan in the Players era last week. But obviously, a resounding response from Gonzaga. Jeff, you were there. I mean, this was just over when it started. It felt like.
Yeah, I mean, Kentucky couldn't score early. They couldn't stop Gonzaga early. They picked up where they left off, not being able to make a three. Last game against Carolina, they went 1 for 13 from three. Tonight, it was just an absolute shit show. I mean, honestly, I don't know what else to say about it, John. It was that bad in every phase of the game that Kentucky fans were cheering when they cut it to like 28. That's how bad it was for this Kentucky team. And, you know, after the game, I had a guy, 78-year-old guy, come up to me and he said, that's the worst performance I've ever seen as a Kentucky fan. Again, that's how bad it's gotten for this team right now. And think about it. You know, 9 games ago, before the season started, this fan base absolutely adored Mark Pope as a coach. And now a lot of them are questioning whether he should be the head coach of Kentucky. And some are even asking, you know, we want Cal back. That's how bad it's gotten.
Golly. Hey, yeah. Worst loss since 2007, 2008 will do it to you. T.O., when you watch this Kentucky team, I mean, they got Jalen Lowe back tonight. And I think we got Marquee coming over. We'll get to Kentucky in a bit. Jeff, please take it from here. Introduce our guest to the audience, will you?
I will. He's going to get in here. No, we're doing one at a time. Because we don't have enough space. We don't have the budget. If you give us a bigger budget, we'll be able to afford
out of that Charleston a lot.
I know. Very true. Very true. How you doing? You're doing a lot better than last time I saw you 9 days ago in Vegas. Yeah. It was a mollywhopping the other way, and one that you had never had in your career. How did you react to this? How did you had 9 days to think about, prepare, stew, whatever it is for this game, and you came out and showed people that, hey, you know what? We're for real still. I mean, Michigan played a great game.
First of all, let's start with that. Michigan was terrific, and Dusty and his entire staff just did a wonderful job. I mean, that was a juggernaut we ran into. And they're really, really good. I mean, they're really good, and they're smart, they're tough, they're physical, they're well coached, and they're big. You know,
they made you look small.
Yeah, which it's hard to do. Yeah. And so give them a lot of credit. And so, listen, when this happens, you know, no matter what level or what sport you're coaching, you just want your guys to respond, and that's what we talked about all week. Was what's our response going to be to this, and then. You know, we just had to get back to kind of reinforcing who we are. And sometimes, Jeff, you get in those 3-day tournaments and you're just game planning and you're playing 3 different styles. And, you know, then you kind of deviate away from maybe who you are, you know, and you just need a reminder to kind of bring it back.
Did you question anything after that game? Was there anything you did?
Yeah, no. I mean, you get –
because you guys were so good going into that game.
Get your ass kicked that bad, you question everything. There
was no pickleball in the mornings.
There wasn't. No, there was nothing. There was – and you know, so, no, you look hard at, you know, inside yourself, and then you have hard discussions with your staff, and then you have hard discussions. And those – anybody who's played knows those practices aren't fun, you know, and but they're necessary, and the guys know that too. You know, when you have mature guys, they know what's coming.
Well, this guy over there, Graham Ike, had maybe the worst performance, probably if I asked him, of his career against Michigan. 1 point, no rebounds.
No, easily is worse.
Right.
Yeah.
And to come out and actually he missed some easy ones early here.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually thought you guys should have been up more than you were. Yeah. Missed some easy ones. You didn't shoot it great. Were you at all, and what Kentucky did to you a year ago coming back? Yeah. I assume at halftime the speech was.
We talked about they were going to probably reference that, but then I explained to them, like, guys, we missed like 5 lay-ins last year, and we missed like 8 front ends of 1-on-1, and we allowed it. But we just wanted to get back to trying to be the toughest team, and I thought we were the toughest team tonight. So. And
you went to Braden, I thought, over and over. Yeah. In the mismatches, right?
Yeah, I mean, we did, and we like to go to these guys over and over anyway. And I think, Jeff, we got away from that. Look, I know Michigan's big, but we got away from that. And in some instances, I think, I mean, it was on us as a staff. We kind of game plan to try to, do some things that maybe weren't what we do normally. And
well, then you get down like that. I mean, you could probably relate to Pope tonight in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah. No, it's not a healthy feeling or one I would wish upon anybody. And I feel bad for Mark. I mean, they're doing the right things. They just need to all get healthy, and they'll have to have moments like we had last week.
Are you looking up the clock against Michigan and just saying, like, I wish we had a running clock? Like, at some point.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, if you notice, I just sat down. I mean, listen, dude. I tried every defense we had. Okay, we tried every ball screen we had, coverage. Okay, I tried every person, on
your bench, yes,
several times. And then you know what? At
some point, you're just like
27 years, I just walked over and sat down and like, yes.
I'm surprised you didn't just walk off the court and give it. Yeah, let Mike give it a shot right now.
But hey, those are no fun. I mean, and we haven't experienced those at Gonzaga. So I don't know why you keep referencing it after we just had a 35-point win.
I don't know.
On the road, and this environment is impressive.
Oh, I said it. Hey, this was the least neutral site game I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, you walk out here, and listen, we played them in Rupp, and as you know, we play everybody all over the place, but this was impressive. I mean, this is 3 hours from Lexington or a little more, and I mean, it's blue everywhere with the exception of navy blue.
Yeah, you had about 500 fans, I think.
Yeah.
All right, listen, we're going to get Graham in here. Good to see you smiling again. I don't know what this is. You like it? All right, I'll let you know. Since you took care of me years ago with the suit, remember, in New York. What was the name of the place? Rothman's. I know. I spent a lot of money there. Yeah. A lot of money. I don't have the Marquee budget. I don't have the Good to see you. All right, Marquee, we're going to bring in Graham Ike now. And then we'll get back to you guys, and we can break down the entire game. But we got to bring in the guy here who, man, talk about a guy who's got a smile on his face now. Sit down, big guy. Get in close to me. All right, how you doing?
Good.
You feeling a little better than 9 days ago?
I feel great, man. Honestly,
looking forward a little bit.
You just can't get hung up on things like that. We know who we are at the core. We weren't that in Vegas. It was an anomaly. We responded tonight, and that's what we're about. We knew the adversity would hit, not that earlier the way it did, but we knew it would come. And I'm proud of our response.
So tell me what you were feeling after that game. I was there in Vegas. What you were feeling afterwards, and like how hard it was to wait 9 days for this one.
It wasn't too hard for me, man. Thanksgiving was the next day, so my family, kept me out of it, kept my mind off of things. Right after, of course, like you feel it to the core. Every player would, and if you don't, then you're not a competitor. But I was looking forward to this. I'll tell you that.
How important was it to get off to the start? And you missed some easy ones early.
100%.
Right? I mean, I was like, you guys should have been up.
Should have dunked that one layup.
The bunny.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But how important was it, maybe not just for you, but as a team, to be able to kind of hit them early and keep your foot on the pedal?
It was huge. I say we learned that from Michigan, and we want to apply that. And so I'm glad we did. And we just respond so well to adversity. I'm so proud of this team and the coaching staff for just having us in the right position and just playing our tails off, man.
Is there anything good that can come from a game like that against Michigan? Is there a lesson to be learned?
I mean, from anything, whether it's an injury or a 40-point loss, I mean, it's going to show you who you are at your deepest core. Either you're going to fall over and just go with the roll of it, or you're going to hit back. And that's what we did tonight, and that's what we're made of, true deep in our core.
I think what it showed as much as anything, character and chemistry. Absolutely. Because teams can fracture after those losses, right? You could start pointing fingers. Even though you guys had a lot of success before that game, you guys could start, a lot of new guys on this team trying to figure it out.
Man, it's Gonzaga, man. Yeah. We don't do that there. You know what I mean? And just our culture is just so tight-knit that we would never. We might have a team meeting that's not going to be pointers.
Did you?
No, we didn't.
Nothing.
We talked about it, but we didn't. A couple guys did. We did not. But
was there any what was talked about? I mean, you're a veteran. You're one of the leaders. Do you remember what you said to the rest of the team?
It's about how we bounce back. The greatest adjust, and ultimately we're judged off of our response through thick and thin.
All right. Well, listen. Great seeing you. Good seeing you with a smile. All right. This was impressive, and I got to get my ass out to Spokane this year. All right.
We waiting on you.
Great seeing you, man.
Right now.
All right. There you have it. Mark Few, Graham Ike.
Great stuff, man.
You guys, get your reaction from what you guys just heard.
Jeff, you realize Gonzaga just beat Kentucky, and you just asked them about getting their ass whipped by Michigan the whole time.
Yes.
This Gonzaga
because
team.
I think that was part of the story. That was a big part. It's a huge part of the story of what happened tonight is how they bounced back from that Michigan loss. I was there. I think it like we were just talking with Graham Teo. It shows so much about their character. Don't you agree with that?
100% I do. 100% I do. I thought they just executed at such a high level. But at the same time, I think what you look at with Graham Ike right there is a person with a lot of resolve, one. And you want to talk about a leader. We've known the kind of guy he is. That's a grown-ass man, one. I wanted to ask him what the cameraman did to him at that timeout when he shooed him away. That man was playing with an edge today. It was different. But to go ahead and talk about, they completely outclassed Kentucky in every way, shape, or form. That's first and foremost. Secondly, the ability to back down and know who they are comes from having the same guys at the 4 and the 5 the entire time, knowing what they're about. And we talk about retention and how it's important with 2 or 3 guys, 4 guys on the roster. You saw how a team can stick together today, and they did it in an away environment. This was not a home court. This was not a neutral court. This was a Kentucky home game for all intents and purposes. The only difference was they didn't have the ice cream that they have at Rupp. That was the only difference. This was a Kentucky home game. Phenomenal performance by him. You're right. He missed a couple of layups, but he dominated in every way, shape, or form today. I mean, if there was a loose ball and it was 12 feet above the rim, he was still getting it. It was an impressive performance. They shot the ball well. They moved the ball well. Kudos to Gonzaga. We'll get to Kentucky in a second.
For sure.
But this is a team that played really, really well today. And kudos to them for kind of bouncing back after an elongated absence, after losing such a tough game to a Michigan team that just hit all the right notes on one day.
Yeah, Tyler, I would bet against you ever getting beat, by 35. But, when that happened to Gonzaga in Vegas, they had 9 days to sit with it. Is what we saw tonight against Kentucky, is that just pent up? We've been having to sit with this for 9 days. How much of that carries over into an effort like we saw tonight from them?
A ton. And I'm going to back up Goodman's point on this. I'm going to talk about the Michigan loss. And you talk about a team that's motivated. They came out tonight to kick another team's ass. And then you also look at Kentucky. They just came off a recent loss against North Carolina, a nail-biter. And the losing game is extremely important. How you handle losses and how you prepare for your next game is going to dictate how you're going to be as a team. And a lot of times that's going to dictate your success as well. You just saw a team learn from its mistakes, grow, and come out and kick another team's ass that, quite simple, didn't show up tonight. And it wasn't, like they dominated every aspect. Kentucky even turned the ball over, unforced turnovers, lackadaisical turnovers where they weren't even being pressured. So when you compare these two teams tonight, you look at how one team reacts to a loss, and then you look how another team reacts to a loss. I'm extremely concerned about Kentucky.
Yeah, and we obviously it's a balance, right? Because there's a winner of a game like this, and it's easy to give that team, the flowers. But that's it, right? You win by 35, you still have to go out and you still have to, be as good. And they have, and I tend to agree, Goodman, with Graham Ike that Michigan game we're probably going to look back on as an anomaly. But I think it's the other side of this game that that's disturbing. What Kentucky and this is a game, Jeff, that they got their point guard back. They got Jalen Lowe back, and I know he's probably not 100%. I know that he's dealing with things,
Right.
but this is college basketball. It's a big boy sport now, and if you play and if you're on the floor, then that's the bottom line. And if you're hurt, you shouldn't play, because that's just the way this goes. And they were just never in it. So they're a big target, and they're an easy target, Jeff, because they have the highest payroll in the sport. This has been an absolute disaster. 9 games into the season for Kentucky, sitting here at 5-4. I mean, is there any other way to say it?
No. I mean, it's dysfunctional in every way right now, right? I mean, the way the team is put together doesn't fit well, okay, on the court. You can see it, right? They have one point guard right now in Jalen Lowe, who, again, was not 100%. We know that. But even when he's 100%, he's not going to fix all their issues. He's still not an elite shooter. He's a guy who can put on the deck and make plays. And you could see he was tentative tonight. But this is a team, again, they got a lot of guys when you look at them and you're just like, why? Why did they, Denzel Aberdeen? Like, why? Why are you paying Otega Owe? I had somebody, I'm walking out of the tunnel at halftime, and an NBA guy said to me, like, his body language is atrocious. And it just doesn't look like he cares. So I think pride is a big part of this right now. For Kentucky fans, and I talked to a bunch right after the game, and the one thing they were all saying was like, listen, if this team's playing hard as shit, we're okay if they lose. But this team looks like they're not playing hard. They're not playing with any pride. And, again, I think they don't fit. The pieces don't fit together on the court. And Jaden Quaintance will help. If he comes back, we'll see. Right. I mean, the plan is for him to come back in a couple of weeks. I don't know. Does he even bother coming back at this point? Because, frankly, if he does come back, his stock may go down at the end of the day. Because, again, they don't have shooters. They don't have a point guard right now who makes people better and makes it easier for the bigs. They're not guarding. I mean, they were a joke. As bad as they were offensively, guys, they were equally as pathetic on the defensive end tonight. And their effort wasn't there for the most part. I mean, some of the guys played hard in spurts. I thought Colin Chandler still played hard in spurts. But most of them, again, there was no, intensity. There was no MF-er of, honestly, Tyler, if that were you, what would you have done? You would have clotheslined somebody coming down the lane. You would have clotheslined somebody, and you would have gotten thrown out of the game. But you were not going to let that happen.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do with respect for the game. It's not necessarily if you don't get along with your teammates, that's another issue. If you have chemistry issues, that's another issue. But if you go out there and you just lay an egg and you don't have good effort, you don't have good body language, and you don't even support the team or have great spirit, that's disrespectful to the game. And in the long run, that comes back to haunt you. I don't care at what level of basketball. And also, you've got to be a little bit more competitive, and you've got to play for a little bit of pride. I don't care how much you're down by. You got to continue to play with effort and play the game the right way.
There's a lot to unpack here. First and foremost, before I really get into what drove me nuts watching this game today was the first and foremost, Malachi Moreno is a freshman, and he's matched up against Graham Ike. I don't care how good a freshman it is. I don't care. It could be Cam Boozer. That's a load. That's just not going to work out well. And then you bring a guy named Brandon Garrison off the bench who's never really been a guy. He's been an energy player, but he's having to play more than probably what you're comfortable with. I don't know where Jelovich has gone. I think he shot 4 air balls. I hate to keep coming back to it, but the roster is just not good together. It's just a weird roster that's not good together. And Jalen Lowe was thrown into the Wolves against a Gonzaga team that plays super fast and super physical. That's one thing. Even if you aren't very good.
Next break. We got to do a break.
A lot of Kentucky, you look at Kentucky fans, they were ready to get rid of Calipari because he was too simple. It's almost been an overcorrection because as simple as Cal was, that's as complicated as Pope is making this. Like, what happened to get back into some of the easy things, the simple fundamental parts of this game? Like, play off 2 feet when you're in offense. Jalen Lowe came in, tried to get he got into the paint because that's what they needed, and then he turns around, just flings it out of bounds 4 feet behind where the guy was replacing. Just play off 2 feet. That part's simple. That's a fundamental piece of this whole thing. How about on defense, whenever you're trying to match up against an opposing 5-man, and then you end up switching, Colin Chandler ends up on Graham Ike. Why isn't Jelovich bumping him out? Why isn't he scrambling him out? That's just insane to me. How does this not happen? This is sophomore year of high school stuff. I need my big guy guarding their big guy. Where's our recognition? Why isn't it happening? This is a problem because if you're going to be out there, how are you not engaged in the least mentally? There was another time wherever there was a curl action for Smith. There's no help and hedge for Marino because he just doesn't know where to be. This is not what Kentucky basketball has become known as. Even with Calipari, at least the effort was there. He kept it simple. They switched a lot. That's fine, but the effort was there. Sometimes when they weren't super talented, the effort was there. Now you're overcomplicating things, and I'm tired of hearing about, like, he talks about eccentric loads and workloads and work output and all this stuff that requires 3 degrees to listen to. How about you just play off 2 feet, communicate and switch, and then make sure when somebody curls, you have post help? Like, what are we doing? Get back to the simple parts of this game as opposed to subbing 3 guys in every substitution. It was a very frustrating game to watch. That's kind of where I was at the entire game because these are very simple things. Very simple things.
Jeff, obviously, if this was a school that was a normal one, I wouldn't even ask. But I can't help but think in this new hyper NIL world, I mean, they have the biggest budget in the sport, and they are tragically bad. And I mean, like you said, maybe Quaintance comes in and makes it look competent. But I guess I wouldn't ask you, are they going to make a change? But in this hyper, quick world, when you have $20+ million to spend on roster and you bungle it the way Kentucky seems to have bungled it, I don't know. Administratively, I'm at the very least asking major questions.
Of course, and they should, right? Whoever put this team together, I mean, they probably have to hire like a GM, a real GM in the offseason. If you're Mitch Barnhart, who's probably on his way out as the AD, retiring at some point, here in the next year or two, you got to have a long conversation with Mark Pope about how you're going to put this team together. And he's probably not going to get the money that he got this year. Let's face it.
I can't give him money like that again. You kidding me? No way.
No. And that's part of the problem, maybe. I mean, again, that might be part of the issue is that, again, I'm looking at Otego away after the game, and he doesn't have a huge smile, but he doesn't look pissed off. And you just wonder if it's like, how much does it mean to him? Does it mean as much now that he's getting this huge paycheck?
That's exactly
I don't know. I don't know the kid, but I think that's part of it. So to get back to your initial question, which you didn't ask the full question, but I know where you're heading with it.
I just don't. It feels ridiculous to ask, will they make a change? But I just feel like when I hand you a check of $20 million and you trick it off the way that Mark Pope has tricked it off, something's got to change. We got to do something different.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say to that is year one, he did better than expected, right? Let's be honest. He did better than expected year one. So he got some equity there. Now, he's lost all that equity already. All that equity's gone out the window right now. So what can he do with this group this year? Can he get him to the tournament? Because now you've got low expectations. Remember Arkansas last year had something similar with Cal, and it was really low expectations. And then what did they do? They went in a run at the end, and everybody's like, oh, my God, what a great season they had. Well, they actually had a really shitty first half, but the expectations were so low that it looked like they had this really good season. Can Kentucky – now, again, if they get to the Sweet
Arkansas
16,
had a good year they went to the Sweet 16 and almost got to the Elite Eight, right? I mean,
that's what I'm saying. You are exactly what I'm talking about. You're exactly what I'm talking about. They did not have a good year. They just caught fire at the end of the year and had a good last quarter of the season and the postseason. But they did not have a good year. They, again, had it when it mattered most, they won. I'll give them credit for that. Can Kentucky do something similar? I don't see it. That's the problem. I don't see this team all of a sudden flipping the switch. Even with getting Jaden Quaintance back, I don't think they're going to be able to. So is Mark Pope on the hot seat? I had a bunch of fans ask me that right after the game. Is he in the hot seat? Is his seat getting warm? I will say this. If this season ends up being a complete shit show, he will go into year 3 on the hot seat. Because, again, you can't spend $22 million. And I've had conversations with Mark Pope about this. And he said, I get it. I get we have all this money. I know what I signed up for. So there won't be any excuses for Mark Pope. I can guarantee you that. But he will have one more year to figure this thing out and get him back on track to where they're Kentucky. And he's not going to have $22 million next year.
Yeah, obviously, it is absolutely a bit of a crossroads for the Wildcats after the start to their season. There's no question. Hey, Saturday might be the biggest Saturday in the sport. Lots of absolute bangers tomorrow. We're going to go over them. Jeff Goodman live from Bridgestone. He attended. Was it a funeral? It looked like. I mean, it was ugly. It was ugly in that building tonight. We'll preview tomorrow when we get back. You watch it go to 68 after dark.
As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same-game parlays, best-in-class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app, you sign up using bonus code FIELD, you deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today. If you're not a member of the Field of 68's On3 community, make sure to go check us out. Get access to all of Jeff Goodman and Rob Doster's written content, including coaching carousel breakdowns, info on who is and isn't entering the transfer portal, insider recruiting information from none other than Joe Tipton, X's and O's analysis of all the teams in college basketball, and access to our message board community. A 7-day trial costs you $1. The Field of 68 on 3. Get the scoop.
Are you trying to follow everything happening in college basketball? It can be overwhelming. That's where the Field of 68 Daily comes into play. The Daily is your go-to source for recruiting news, game analysis, portal updates, and much, much more. For just $50 a year, you get access to the same information that your favorite coaching staff is subscribed to. Quality content can be hard to find in the college basketball space. The Daily is here to help. Make sure you subscribe today.
Field of 68 After Dark here on Friday, December the 5th. I'm John Martin, joined tonight by Jeff Goodman, Tyler Hansbrough, Terrence Oglesby. Talked about the beatdown Gonzaga put on Kentucky tonight. Tomorrow, got a ton of marquee matchups, lots of top 10 matchups. Let's start with T.O. Duke and Michigan State. It's a top 10 matchup, basically a pick here. I think Michigan State, you have to say, has outperformed relative to, I think we always expect the floor to be very high at Michigan State, but did anybody think that this would be a top 5-ish team in December? I think the answer to that would be no, given that they didn't really do that much in the portal. How do you see this one? How do you see Duke Michigan State playing out tomorrow, T.O.?
I'm really intrigued by what Jeremy Fears is able to do against Duke's defense. Duke's defense is, we haven't talked about it much. We've talked about the Boozer brothers. We've talked about Isaiah Evans being a tough shot maker. I'm excited to see that, of course. But Jeremy Fears has dominated games without scoring the basketball. He is Mateen Cleaves reincarnated. and I mean, Mateen Cleave's still with us, but you get my point. Kind of manages the game in the same way. Like, here's the deal. I'm really intrigued by the point guard matchup with Caleb Foster, with Caden Boozer coming in off the bench. How do they manage Jeremy Fears? That's going to be huge. Does Michigan State hit shots? Also going to be huge. On the other side of the ball, though, Cam Boozer as a pick-and-roll ball handler has changed the way Duke can play. Towards the end of games, that's what they're doing. And how are some of these bigger players from Michigan State going to be able to handle that? They are very good. Can they guard Cam Boozer on the perimeter? Because that's kind of what it's turned into over the last 3 or 4 games for Duke. So really intrigued by that. Does Duke take care of the basketball and not turn it over? Because we know if Michigan State gets out in transition, it's death. That and the fact that it's in the Breslin Center, I'm a ACC guy, sure, but that's a tough place to play. 2 undefeated teams. I'm wondering who wins that one, but it's going to be a tough one for Duke because Michigan State. I'm a big believer in what Izzo has going up there.
Tyler, obviously, it feels like an absolutely massive test for Cam against that front court in Breslin. How do you think he handles it? How do you think he handles that Spartan front line tomorrow night?
Well, to me, I think Duke has the upper hand. I think they're more talented. But the one thing I will be curious to see and what I'm looking forward to is Michigan State is a veteran team that Izzo has a way of physically pressuring teams and making them turn it over. Will Cam Boozer, it's not whether will he be able to handle their physicality and their defense and the way they like to control the boards. I just think that Duke has too much power. I think the Nagunga kid, it plays really well. I know I butchered his name. Struggled with that. Sorry.
Gungba, you got it. No, you got it. Gungba, you got it.
Gumba. I'm a big fan of him. I think he does a lot of different things. But also Isaiah Evans, he's a piece for Duke that a lot of people don't talk about. I think he hits shots when they need him. But I do think Boozer has a good game. And the reason I say that is because as physical as Michigan State is, I don't think they're the lengthiest team in college basketball. I think that's where Boozer really struggles is against length. I think he handles physicality well. So I'm going to give Duke the edge on this one.
Is this their first true road game of the year?
For Duke?
I think.
Yeah. It seems right.
Yes, I believe it is.
Yep, it is.
Right, I believe it's
They
their
played.
first road game.
They played a semi. They played in Charlotte against Texas. Yep. They played on a neutral against Kansas, neutral against Arkansas, which was in Chicago, and then Florida at home. So yes, first true road game of the year.
Give me Sparty. Give me Sparty. I just think again, I don't think Cam Boozer is going to be affected. I don't count that one. Army on the road does not count.
Wow, no respect for our armed forces.
No respect for our armed forces. No. Of course I have respect for our. Don't quote me on that. Don't cut that.
All right, Venezuela. What are these guys?
Everybody's coming after me. So don't even think about that, whoever's clipping tonight. Anyway, I'm so screwed after that.
We're going to bomb your
ass.
Michigan State. Michigan State. Dude.
I might tap out. I might just tap out right now. Anyway, I just think Michigan State at home at the Breslin Center with experienced bigs. Like I like him. I think Cam will get his. He'll get his, 22 and 8, maybe even more. It's the other guys for Duke. It's the Isaiah Evanses. Will Dame Sarr do anything? Because he's really, really struggled of late. Kamania, will he, they got some young guys here too. And Caleb Foster, he's got to step up. Their point guard play has not been great so far this year. I thought Caden Boozer would wrestle this position away already. He hasn't because he's struggled in the defensive end, and Caleb Foster's not really a point. I just see this being a war and a defensive game, and I think Michigan State wins in a close one.
Can I say one more thing, John? One more thing.
Yeah, of course.
The shot quality at that place is going to be huge. Like Isaiah Evans, if he's going to take some quick ones, he better freaking make them. Because what ends up happening, Michigan State gets one. Some of those shots are turnovers. If he doesn't make them, Jeremy Fears is off and running, and Cohen Carr's got his chest on the rim. So it's like you have to – how do you take care of the basketball? And some of these shots can't be turnovers. You can turn the basketball over. They got to be dead ball turnovers. Live ball turnovers against Michigan State is death. Can't have those.
Yeah, just a quick moment for Tom Izzo. He just simply amazes me. I know they got $401 million donated to the athletic department today. I don't know how much of that is going directly to basketball and Tom Izzo, but when we talk about the biggest spenders in the sport of basketball, like year after year, who's in the portal, who's like, blowing money like they're at the strip club, it's never Tom Izzo. Like Tom Izzo is just making it work with the
money.
guys that
they do.
I know
money,
they have money. I'm not trying to say
like,
that he's impoverished, but I'm just saying like what he does is he identifies players that are going to stay in his program that he develops, and he doesn't lean on rolling over in the transfer portal every year. Right. And I don't think they have the biggest budget by any means. Do they have a top 15 budget, top 20 budget?
No, not probably like 20 to 30.
Right, and I think what he's doing with that caliber of budget is simply amazing. I mean, he's outperforming it. He's seventh in the country right now, with a team that nobody on this panel would ever accuse of being that talented.
No, he retained, and again, like there are programs where you're going to stay because of the coach and because of the culture, and that's one of them in Michigan State. And as long as you stay, you're going to get better and better and better, and that's what. Yes. Look at the bigs. Like Cooper is the biggest example of this because I remember Carson Cooper. He played, I think, his freshman year at Champions Classic, and I was like, this dude belongs at Western Michigan. Like, he does not belong at Michigan State. And he has turned into a really, really good college big because he obviously he works at his game. He's tough. He fits kind of the DNA of Izzo's bigs, but, he competes. He gets better. He knows defensively where he's supposed to be. He's going to fight you. Like, you don't think Kentucky would love to have a guy like Carson Cooper right now?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And to your point about the culture thing, it's a sport where it's transient. It's more transient than ever. And yet here's Tom Izzo, an absolute OG. That's how he's winning. That's how he's doing it. Yeah. And it's a real contrast to the abomination that we saw in Nashville tonight by the loser, right? I mean, I just, and again, Kentucky's not the only team that's doing it. They're just the biggest spender. And so the target on their back is going to be the biggest. And that's just the way it goes. All right. Number one in action tomorrow, Purdue and top 10 ranked Iowa State. Seems like this is just going to be an absolute war. You mentioned that earlier, Goodman, your respect of the armed forces. This is going to be another one with an Iowa State team that I think TJ Otzelberger's got that culture going too. He's another guy I would put in that mix for sure. T.O., what's your breakdown of this one? How much of a test can Iowa State put to Purdue?
What's funny is like we talk about Iowa State and Purdue, and my first thought, and I think everybody's first thought is, man, it's going to be a grinder. Dude, this is two elite offensive teams this year. Like two elite offensive teams. So much so that Purdue's shooting 42% from three, and Iowa State's shooting 43% from three. Though, why is that? Well, both teams elite point guards. That's what I'm looking for more than anything. Tamin Lipsey, Braden Smith. That's going to be an awesome matchup. Braden Smith, all quickness and wherewithal about how to use a pick and roll. Lipsey, kind of a beast, but understanding where to get the rock. Iowa State's shooting the ball really well. They're moving the ball really well. It's going to be a much better offensive game than I think you really think about right away. And I think you can just attribute to Otzelberger. It seems like when he first got the job, it was all defense. Now it's come around. He's got the right guys in place. They're still playing that level of defense, but they're knocking down shots at an incredible rate right now. So Iowa State's a handful. Where's this game being played? I had it written down.
It's
somewhere.
At Marquee. Yep.
Marquee.
It's at Marquee. I'm telling you this, though. Iowa State's not going to roll over. This game, I'm not sure what the spread is. It's going to be close. I'm sure Purdue is favored. If it's 4 or 5 points, I'm probably leaning Cyclones, and I hate the whole state of Iowa. So that says a lot about my respect for what Otz has put together.
Why do you hate the state of Iowa?
Yeah, 4.5.
It's so cold.
You're right on it.
It's so cold, and the only good thing about the entire state is you can see it in Nebraska because there's not a hill to be found. That place sucks. But the Cyclones are good. The Hilton Magic is a real thing. Hilton Magic's a real thing. That place is awesome. I don't know, Tyler. I don't know if you've ever been. John, I don't know if you've ever been. Goodman, I know you've been. There are not many home venues like that. That place is amazing. I'm not mad at the town of Ames. I just never want to go there. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people realize. This is going to be a great offensive game. I think it could end up in the 90s. That's the crazy part.
Well, I'll say this. Iowa has one good thing about them. But the game's not being played there. It's in, it's at Purdue, and I think that's going to give them the edge. And I know that Iowa State's dealing with a little bit of injuries. I'm not sure if Lipsey's fully healthy for this game, and I think that's going to be a big factor. And we talk about culture builders. Matt Painter's done a pretty good job at Purdue, one of my favorite coaches. But, both of these programs have a lot of players that have stayed, and I think that says a lot about, where they're at and why they're winning so much. But I think this game's going to come down to having the home court advantage, especially with Fletcher Lawyer shooting well, Braden Smith, and the Lipsey matchup's going to be one to watch. But I'm gonna give Purdue the edge on this one.
Yeah, you wonder if Lipsey's going to play. We still haven't gotten word yet, and if he does, it's a groin injury. So, I just watched. I know they're different injuries, but I just watched Jalen Lowe come back, and you could just tell he was favoring it. He was concerned about it. You wonder if Lipsey's going to be a little bit concerned. He's had a history of injuries, especially last year, a multitude of injuries. So you wonder, man, having to defend Braden Smith with getting over a groin injury,
they would have to cross match that. They would have to cross match that. A
but
groin injury?
My God. He's your best defender by far. Actually, the kid Killian Torrey, has been awesome filling in for him. So actually, you could probably put Torrey on Braden Smith, and that might be the better move. But, again, you're still chasing Fletcher Lawyer around. So, there's not many easy matchups for Purdue. You're right. The culture can't be used enough with that Iowa State program. But I will take Purdue at Marquee against a very good Iowa State team, but one that probably isn't going to have Lipsey at 100% if he plays.
All right, moving right along. This is a top 15 matchup. Two teams who are just begging to get off the schneid here. Illinois, Tennessee. Tennessee lost to Syracuse, obviously, in the Dome, and Illinois coming off of their loss to UConn earlier in the week. So two teams that are obviously looking to bounce back. T.O., what do you think? What wins out here? It seems very much like two clashing styles.
Illinois doesn't force a ton of turnover, so Tennessee's at least going to get a shot at it on the offensive end, and then they're going to continue being Tennessee on the defensive end. I do think I do like Illinois. I think Tennessee with Jacoby Gillespie, they're going to have an advantage there at that spot just because he's so fast. Nate Ament's so good. I think it's close, but after losing two in a row, I think Kansas, after losing to Kansas and Syracuse, I think Tennessee actually bounces back in what really is a home court advantage because Nashville is going to be a lot brighter orange than darker orange.
Yeah. Tyler, what do you think?
I think for Tennessee to win this, they're going to have to make shots, and I think it's going to come down to Nate Ament scoring a lot and providing them a lot of offense. Also, Jacoby Gillespie, he's going to have a big shooting night. I know he hasn't shot the ball as well as usually the past couple games, but I think he's going to have a big night. I think Illinois has a lot of weapons, and they have a lot of guys that can get hot. I think Stojakovic, if he has a big game, and Boswell plays really well, those two players are key to me. If they have big games, I'm going to lean towards Illinois. But my final answer, which I hate to bounce back and forth like this, I'm going Tennessee. I think they beat them up defensively, and I think the freshman Nate Ament has a big game and scores for him.
Jeff, there was, it wasn't long ago that Tennessee knocks off Houston, and we're like, whoa, Tennessee. Maybe they're going to be right back in the top 5, top 10 mix, and I don't know if it's just a residual of having a battle with Houston for 40 minutes, but they just haven't been good since. They lose to Kansas, and they lose to obviously Syracuse, and I know those are tough games, but they were 8-point favorites in both of those games. Kansas without Darren Peterson, and obviously a Syracuse team that's on the way up. I don't know, Goodman. I think this Tennessee team is extremely limited offensively. Like if Gillespie is not bailing them out and playing hero ball, they're going to have a really
right.
hard time.
No, you're 100% right. And their front court's good, and
Right.
they rotate in 4 dudes, but there's nobody that, like, you can really throw it into. You're not throwing it into Felix Okpara or Cade Phillips. So much is on Gillespie, and I watched
And Carey. And Carey is the guy they have. I mean, they and he
Carey's an X factor. He's an
Yeah.
X factor because he can score in there. He's a little undersized, but he can score in there. And I like Estrella, who's coming off a little bit of an injury there. But Gillespie is small, and so much is on him because right now Nate Ament isn't consistent. He's not. I mean, he's just I think he's still getting used to, number one, the physicality of college basketball, no doubt, because he weighs probably, I don't know, $195, but also the speed of the game. If you watch him, he just seems at times, again, sped up and driving into guys when he shouldn't be, and he should be pulling up and taking mid-range jumpers. He just seems right now, which is no surprise. I felt like this was probably going to be the case with him, and it's going to be until January, even February, until Nate Ament really kind of, finds his stride and is consistent. But until then, this Tennessee team has a hole, and to me, it's another scorer on the wing to take some pressure off of Gillespie and Ament.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Illinois. I'm gonna say Tennessee cannot
Me too.
keep up. So,
Yep.
And you'll be there for it? You'll be in the building as well?
No, I'm out. I'm out in the morning. I got a doubleheader tomorrow. Indiana, Louisville at 2, and then I go to the Big Ten Championship, Indiana, Ohio State football at 8 with my daughter.
Oh, that'll be fun. What a day. And then last one, Auburn, Arizona, T.O. This Auburn team has been, I don't know, surprise, probably not the right word, but very solid. Maybe so. Yeah. I'd say they've been very solid at the very least. And this Arizona team, as we know, has been one of the best in the country. So what's your forecast on this matchup?
Man, how could you not love what Arizona's putting together? I saw Copete over the summer, man. Like, he's just put together. This is not your typical freshman. He's a beast. But it's not just him. It's the collective size of the whole team. You look up and down the roster, even Jaden Bradley's a big boy at the point guard spot. Now, here's where I think Auburn does have a chance because, as I've said for years, they are lovably erratic. And Stephen Pearl's he's doing a lot of the same stuff as his dad is. And he's doing a pretty good job. Going to Tucson, tough deal. And you look at the smaller guards that Arizona has played so far with Donovan Dent earlier in this season, way earlier in this season, he was 5 of 16 from the field. Way earlier than that, they played against Xavier Lee at Florida, who's kind of in the same vein where he's trying to create off the bounce and create shots. He goes 5 of 17. So small guards traditionally have had a hard time with Arizona over the beginning part of this year. Auburn can get hot and win this game. I think that needs to be pointed out because the way they play, they could get hot and hit 14, 15 threes. That's how they play. That's how they are. They could get out and force some turnovers. It just seems like Arizona right now is playing such good basketball, and they just have so many guys they can get the rock to in the half court when everybody's being pressured, and they just don't feel it because either they're so physically strong or they've been in the system for so long, they're just comfortable in the face of fire. That's what Arizona is to me right now. I think Arizona wins this game at home. I think Auburn makes some runs, but they need to keep it close in the first half if they're going to give themselves a chance because that game can get on top of you when the Wildcats get going and the fact that they're so big and physical across the board.
T.O.? Or should be Tyler?
That was
I'm going to go.
I know. Sorry. The alliteration always gets me. Tyler?
I'm going to go Arizona big. I just think that they dominate the inside, and I think for Auburn to really have a chance, I think they're going to have a miracle night from shooting from outside. I just don't think that they have the bigs. I think Arizona has a simple game. They go inside. They play inside-out basketball. They dominate the paint. They move the ball. And I just think that their bigs and their physicality and their size inside is too much for Auburn.
Yeah, I'm not going against my alma mater. I'm not going against my alma mater.
Now you're a proud alum. Now you're a proud alum.
They hate me. They hate me, but I'm going to go with Arizona here. I think Jaden Bradley on Pettiford, man, like that's going to be a tough matchup for Pettiford, who struggled in the last game. And
He did.
I just don't think they have enough options. Like, I think it's Pettiford and Keyshawn Hall, and give Auburn credit. You know, they won the last game ugly with Pettiford having a really off game. I don't think you can do that on the road against an Arizona team that has great balance. They got a lot of guys who can hurt you, not just Koa Pete, but Krivas inside. Again, Jaden Bradley, Karchenkov is really good, especially defensively. So I like Arizona. Don't bet against Arizona at McHale either. Like, that's just dumb.
Right.
I mean, that was true even when you were in school in the 50s.
That's right. That's right.
You know, you had to call the bookie up and say, hey, I want Arizona minus 14.5.
Yeah, we figured out, you know, the TV antenna up there too.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. So yeah, should be a good one. And then, by the way, let's go to your honorary alma mater, Goodman. Louisville at Indiana. You mentioned that game. Obviously, you know, a top 25 matchup. Indiana coming off of I believe Louisville's coming off a tough one. Indiana as well. So just in terms of the way this one will play out, it's a max desperation spot. Something's got to give, right, Goodman?
Yeah, and I hate to do it, but I'm going Louisville in this one. I just think Louisville's not going to shoot it like they did again. And their front court is my biggest question mark right now, the Cardinals. And Sanandafru's good. I just don't think he's as good as maybe I thought he was going to be, and he doesn't have that much help on the glass. Well, that's fine against Indiana because Indiana's not big. They're not bulky. You know, Reed Bailey's more of a long, skilled big. They bring in Sam Alexis off the bench. So I think, frankly, Louisville matches up very, very well against Indiana. And I think Louisville, the way both teams are coming off bad losses, right? Indiana at Minnesota, really ugly. Obviously, Louisville, the way they played against Arkansas for a lot of that game was ugly as well. I trust those Louisville shooters a lot more than I trust Indiana overall. I don't think Indiana has as much overall in depth that Louisville does.
Tyler, we'll go to you.
I'm going to go Louisville, and the reason I say that is I know both teams are coming off a loss. I think Louisville's too talented. They have one of my favorite players, Mikael Brown Jr. I think he's going to get it going. I don't think Indiana really has the size down low to really disrupt him when he takes it to the basket. So I think this one's going to be a big win for Louisville.
And Tio?
A lot of three-point shooting in this game. Another high-scoring game. You look at Indiana; that's all they do is shoot threes. And then Louisville, besides that last game, it's like, can you just kind of rebound there? Mike LaTulip made a great point about every time Sanandafru would go over and try to block a shot, it was like a guy coming from behind. There was no crackback block out. So to further Jeff's point, like that's a huge deal. Against Arkansas, it was a big deal because Javon Hadley wasn't getting back in time, and he's only 6'7", where some of the bigger players for Arkansas were just able to climb the glass. Indiana doesn't have that kind of player crashing the glass. So I would tend to go Louisville. Of course, I'm curious to see how the fans turn out for that one at Gamebridge. Is it going to be 50-50? Is it going to be 80-20? What is it going to be? It's going to be a really,
they're all going to be
really
there for the
good
football
matchup.
game. Theo, it's 2:00 for the hoop game, and then 8:00 at Lucas Oil for the football game. So I would assume there'll be a lot of drinking among the Indiana fans the entire day. I will be drinking at 8:00. I can promise you that. I'll be drinking a lot at 8:00.
Awesome. All right, let's do toast. I don't think we're into the libations yet, so that'll be tomorrow. But let's do toast of the night. Jeff, you want to kick us off?
No, you guys go first.
All right, who wants to step up to the plate and give the? I mean, this is the easiest toast of fucking ever. I mean,
I'm going to let you guys go first.
Who wants to go? I'll go first. Fine. I'll toast to Gonzaga. They beat the shit out of Kentucky tonight. They deserve a toast.
Yeah, they did.
They bounced back. Jeff Goodman asked them 12 questions about what happened 9 days ago. In the face of doubt and adversity, they responded and they rose. So a toast of the night.
You wouldn't ask them a single question. You know, you would
I
have
would have
sat
maybe
down
asked him.
here
I
with
would have maybe asked him one.
Mark,
I would have asked him
and
12
Greg
each.
Ike, and you wouldn't have mentioned the Michigan game because you would have been scared. You would have been
You wanted to
shaking.
know if there was a players-only meeting 9 days ago. Do you remember what you said? No, I don't. It was 9 days ago. So yeah, and toast to our own Barbara Walters.
Jeff, I would have probably asked about Kentucky on just the first question and then gone back into it. But no,
all right, that's fair.
He's got
Might
the
have been
Arizona
poor
degree.
interviewing.
So.
Might have been poor interviewing, but
no. Wait,
you'll learn.
That's,
you'll learn and improve.
Yep.
it's too
Hey,
late.
I'll do a
It's too late
toast.
for me to learn.
Hey, zip them up, Xavier. Big win tonight. I'm going with the whole team. Mr. Patino,
like
the younger version. Big win. They got it done. Cincinnati. I think it's time to win some tonight. Trey Carroll went for 30 points tonight. The man with the hair went berserk.
Really?
Big win for Xavier.
Tyler, what you got?
What do you got, John? Or Tyler? Tom, sorry.
I'm going to go Tavares Webb from Georgia Southern. Had a big night against Louisiana Tech. Dropped 32, 13 of 14 from the field, 4 or 5 from 3. Big night, big win.
Absolutely. All right, listen, we've got some.
No, I got to do my toast. You didn't let me do it now. You didn't let me do mine. No, I'm not. I'm toasting.
Right. Yeah, that's what you really want to do. You want to toast a Dusty May who was idle tonight.
No. I'm toasting Indiana volleyball coach Steve Aird. They got to the Sweet 16 today. They beat Colorado, second time in program history. Steve Aird, Indiana volleyball head coach. They play Texas next week, so screw you, John Martin.
No, you tweeted from a volleyball game yesterday. You are so bond
if I had a beer.
Ridiculous. You are so bond paid for by Indiana. You tweeted from the volleyball game yesterday. That's crazy.
Damn right I did. Yes.
It really is, man. It really is. Anyway, we have audio from Mark Pope that we're going to react to in the after. So stick with us here on Field of 68.
I want to hear that.
These my DJ Burns shades I had for.
That was like taking them into the depths of Alaska and just dropping them off.
The first person that's gonna die gotta be one of the black guys. They're not gonna make it to the end of the movie.
That's like asking somebody that they want to get a prostate exam or a damn gunshot wound.
All right, welcome into the afters here on a Friday night. Jeff Goodman's in Nashville, Bridgestone Arena. He's getting out of there for what's going to be obviously a very busy day for Indiana. Terrence Oglesby, Tyler Hansbrough. Obviously, the story of the night is what Gonzaga did to Kentucky, and maybe to a deeper extent what Kentucky didn't do back. It just kind of took it laying down. I certainly am curious what you could possibly say if you're Mark Pope after a loss like that. Seems like he's already kind of played some of those cards. I do believe we have audio thanks to our social media guru, Connor. What do we have here, Dagan and crew?
I don't have a great answer for you other than that, we've kind of we've diminished a little bit into a bad spot right now, and we have to dig ourselves out of it. And it's going to be an internal group thing, and we feel the responsibility we have to this university and this fan base, and that all the boos that we heard tonight were incredibly well deserved, mostly for me, and we have to fix it. That's all we have. When you as you're rolling through life, you just have your response, and our response so far has not been adequate, and we have to fix it.
All right, Goodman, what's your reaction?
I knew he was going to be accountable. I knew that much because that's who he is. I just don't know if they can fix it. I just don't know what buttons he can push that he hasn't already pushed. And I wonder too, do you need to be a little bit more of an MFer here going forward?
I was about to say that exact thing, Jeff. And you saw the post-game presser with Chris Beard. Whenever they asked AJ Storr, they were like, is there anything you can do? And AJ Storr's like, I don't know. There's not really much I can. And then Beard just interrupts. He's like, yeah, I can play different freaking players. Pope needs a little bit of that. Like Otego, you're going to have some bad body language. Park it.
Yep.
Been paid $3.5 million to sit over there on a cushiony seat.
And you can be embarrassed.
Hey,
You'll make the money. That's fine. But you can be completely embarrassed every time you walk. Part of the problem too, Tyler, I don't know how you feel about this, but these days, these kids have so many online classes. It's not even like they have to walk through campus. They're not even embarrassed. They honestly, they walk from, they drive to the craft center or whatever it is, the practice facility, and then go to the games. But like, they're not in classes anymore. So there's not that level of like embarrassment or connection with the fan base and the students that you have when you played at Carolina.
Yeah, and, that's one aspect, but there's another aspect. I've seen more effort at the YMCA than what Kentucky gave tonight. And I say this is respect for the game. And, I really like Mark Pope. I think he's a really good guy. He's come on here. I really enjoyed interviewing him when BYU beat Kansas and Lawrence. But this is one of those times where you're a college coach. You just got your ass kicked. Okay, we're going to go back to the gym, and we're going to have track practice. I mean, if you're going to put that effort out like you did tonight, you're either going to be a really good team or you're going to be in really good shape. That's what my high school coach used to tell us. So that's just one of those things. Yeah, I mean, you may not be able to fix the chemistry or, some of the outside shooting, but you can fix effort. You can fix body language. You can fix spirit. All that stuff matters.
Yeah.
We actually have one more clip. We actually have one more clip, Goodman, because I know you have more ammo there. We have one more clip here from our team here.
Mark, DeMarcus Cousins tweeted during the game, "Can't lie, this UK team has no heart." Just your thoughts when you have a legend kind of talking about the teams kind of want to.
I have no issue with what he said in the sense of, like, if you're watching that game, you feel like, starting with the coach, this product is completely unacceptable. So I think that as a former player here, I'm pissed at the coach too, and that's just all deserved. There's nothing inappropriate about what he said at all.
I mean, there you go. Mark Pope as a former player, he's pissed at the coach too.
Yeah, enough of Mark Pope blaming Mark Pope. We get it. That's where it starts. It's the players. This is also the players here. Now, they're at fault because they recruited these players.
Right. They picked the players.
But like Tyler said, have some heart, have some pride, have some toughness. Go out, compete, fight. Don't let Braden Huff and Graham Ike do whatever the hell they want. I don't care if you make shots. Like, again, that doesn't matter. I mean, of course it matters, but ultimately, if you lose a close game here and you fight and you come back and you get it to 10 and you're physical and you're tough and you're pissed off and people could see it on your faces, they're at least going to walk out of here feeling like, okay, you know what? Yeah, we're not good enough, but at least there's some pride with this program. These fans, right now, they hate these players because, again, they're not – actually, they probably think they are good enough talent-wise. They just don't give a shit. And that's the worst thing that you can have with a program like Kentucky.
Fellas, any rebuttal there?
No, it's not just, I mentioned Otego. Like Brandon Garrison acts crazy on the bench too, man. Like those guys, like that guy acts like he's arrived. Yeah, you've arrived. You've averaged 5 points a game 2 years in a row, and you got the answers. Like, come on, man. Like, you got to get back to what you are. That's a hard-playing guy. Otego fit really well beside a lot of guys and shooters and a lot of unselfish guys. Like Lamont Butler was injured parts of last year. He fit really well beside guys who could space the floor. Well, you don't have that. So how else are you going to make an impact? Like, it's not cute to come out of the locker room and as you said, Jeff, he comes out and there's a wry smile on his face. Like, what are we doing? You have NBA scouts. Like, you think $3.5 million is a lot of money, man. Like, if you're not smart with it, that stuff will be gone tomorrow. Like, you got to go try to get more. This is a preseason SEC player of the year. You think he's sniffing that if they voted today? No chance. Mark Pope's for all intents and purposes, you know where Mark Pope's heart is. He hasn't done a good job with this team, but you know where his heart is. He freaking loves Kentucky, and he's a pretty good dude. And to be honest with you, Jeff and Tyler and John, like, he rubbed me a little bit the wrong way last year when I'm in an airport in Detroit, and I said, how rewarding is it for you to, like, get to the tournament your first year back and kind of overachieve? He's like, well, we're Kentucky. We have to do that. And I was like, really? That's the route you're going to take after I asked you that freaking question? I didn't like it. Personally, I didn't like it. But I also knew what he was trying to do. He was trying to set a standard. Well, the standard that man, the floor fell out from below him. And it's because his guys, he hasn't pushed the right buttons with his guys. If you're not any good, you need to either leave or you need to sit on the bench. You need to earn your way back to playing. This isn't the NBA. The highest paid player doesn't get to play because he's the highest paid player.
I think he's got to make a point and probably suspend somebody. I do. I think he's just got to make a point or certainly
suspend
jump somebody
for what? I mean, it's just
over lack of effort.
Conduct? Yeah.
No, over lack of effort. Like somebody's not practicing hard, and kick their ass out. Kick their ass out.
You don't have to suspend them.
No, suspend them. Make sure everybody knows. Stop protecting these kids. They're not kids.
They'll know if they don't play in a game.
They're
on the
pros.
bench the whole time.
They're making big money. Suspend them and put it out publicly. That's how they're going to figure it out.
All right, so who are you suspending then, Coach? Go ahead. Tell us.
I mean, I don't know the inner workings of what's going on behind closed doors, so I can't say that. But obviously, you look at certain players tonight, and they're not playing with the same level of intensity. So to me, if they're not doing that in practice as well, like I think if it carries over, and my guess is Mark Pope, I mean, that's why he was the way he was post-game against Michigan State at the Garden. This stuff has been going on over and over and over. And you can't just let it keep festering and, doing the same thing. You got to do something different. And that's why I'm saying, like, I think, the only way these kids are going to, and again, I keep calling them kids, they're not, most of them. I mean, yeah, Malachi Moreno is a freshman, but there aren't many of them. Jasper Johnson's a freshman. I just think it's them understanding that, yeah, you know what? You don't play the way I want to. You don't do the things in practice. You don't do the things off the court. Then, yeah, you're going to be held accountable, and everybody's going to know about it.
Tyler, you seem like you had a thought. Go ahead.
Yeah, I do. And one thing I think this is very comparable to is when you look at sometimes professional athletes that receive these massive contracts that are very talented and good players, and then all of a sudden, once they sign that deal and they have life-changing money, all of a sudden they pack it in, and they were never the same player because they got satisfied and they lost a little bit of their hunger. This isn't a life-changing contract, but this is something that reminds me of an athlete getting paid and then just being content and happy and losing the effort and kind of the love. That's what it reminds me of a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point.
Dagan, you got one more?
Yes, fellas. I got one more question. We talked enough basketball tonight. I want your predictions, and they all better be for one side, for the Big Ten championship game tomorrow night that Jeff is going to be at. Is he going to see Indiana win is what I want to know.
Big Ten championship. Ohio State 4-point favorite. I'm going to say Indiana does it. I'm going to say Indiana pulls it off. I'm definitely going to bet them at BetMGM. No question about that. I'm going to bet Indiana plus the points, +4. I just feel like they'll care more than Ohio State will. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but
that's true.
I feel like this is just a game Indiana will care more about than Ohio State's like really wants to win the championship. The Big Ten championship, would it be nice? Yeah, they do it every year. I'm going to take the points with Indiana. I'll give me the Hoosiers outright. I'm fine with that. Give me the Hoosiers.
I mean, to me, they got the Heisman. They got the Heisman Mendoza. They got the better quarterback. And I know Saint's been great.
Maybe the number one pick.
He could be the number one pick. And in Sig, I trust. I know Days won a title. He's a New England guy. But in Sig, I trust, man. Kurt Signetti, what he's done there is insane. So if Indiana wins, you might see me on the goalposts after the game.
I believe in that shirt, hopefully.
I might. Who says I can't? I did it at Arizona years ago.
It's been a while.
I did. I'll be the only one storming. I'm going to be the only one storming the field. Just me.
Just to rattle some cages here, I'm going Ohio State.
Oh, this is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I'm going to Indiana. I want to see Goodman out on the field.
There we go.
On the goalpost.
There we go.
That's what I'm rolling with.
There we go. TO's going to be –
Hey, I thought Diego – you said the best quarterback, man. Diego Pavia ain't walking through those doors, baby.
He's good, man. Here in Nashville,
awesome,
you're right.
man.
Before the game, that's all they're talking about. Like, you can hear from everybody talking about Diego Pavia. He has been unbelievable with this. I mean, think about what Nashville's doing right here in Vandy. Both sports, right? Football and hoop.
First of all, Byington, incredible. Secondly,
yes.
The Pavia family just screams to me like mid-2000s VH1 show. Mid-2000s like VH1. Like, just follow them around campus, the rest of the family, and then they just check in with Diego every now and then. That would be – they're insane. No, it's the best.
It is the best. They are riding high. Well, fun night tonight. Obviously, fellas, tomorrow is going to be an absolute banger. Keep it locked here on Field of 68. Midnight tomorrow, because, again, it's a super loaded day. So for Jeff Goodman, for Terrence Oglesby, for Tyler Hansborough, I'm John Martin. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight on a Friday night. Keep it locked here on Field of 68. Have a good night.